This is the Sales Babble Podcast, episode 475, How to Make Quota Without Hurrying.
Welcome to Sales Babble, the podcast that shares selling secrets for non-sellers. And now your host, Pat Helmers.
Hello, Sales Babblers. It's Pat Helmers. And don't you know that we live in an impatient world? Everybody wants everything done in a New York minute. It's gotten to be that every desire is considered a ticking time bomb that must be disarmed right now. But this is the thing. Our desires are not that important. What blows up in our face is the disappointment that we didn't get what we want. Lao Tzu says that nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. So how can you make quota if you don't hurry? That's the topic for today. But before we get to the chapter, make sure and subscribe to the podcast. That way you never miss an episode. And now today's chapter. Time, sediment, and grit. Glacier rivers wear away mighty mountains, with time, sediment, and grit. With grit, the master seller works opportunities others abandon. With tenacity, they chisel away objections. With persistence, they wear away concerns. Each sale has its own nature and can be won given enough time, given enough grit. And now today's story. One day, Pat was reviewing Chris's pipeline and noticed all the effort being put into the Lee deal. Pat started by saying, "You know, you can't close them this quarter. Companies like Lee's don't have budget available until July." "So what should I do?" said Chris. "What can I do to close them?" "Nothing," said Pat. "Doubling your effort on them will go nowhere. This isn't car sales. You can't motivate them to buy by asking, 'What's it going to take to drive this car off the lot tonight?' No, that won't work. It's going to take time and patience to win this deal." Head shaking, Chris said, "But I don't have time for that. What do I do in the meantime?" "Prospect," said Pat. "To say you don't have time is like saying you don't want to. Put your energy into creating more opportunities. The more deals you're working, the higher the likelihood one of them will close. In this industry, you have to play the long game. Impatience and wrong expectations will defeat your spirit." Aesop's fable, The Tortoise and the Hare, shares the proverb, "Slow and steady wins the race." The same is true in sales. Patient work will eventually conquer any problem. Complex deals have many moving parts, and it's better to accept the nature of those deals and give them time to close. In the meanwhile, there are a multitude of opportunities to address. Let's look at those. The Tao teaches us to accept the universe as it is. Better to work within it than against it. To get a copy of today's chapter, you can find links in the show notes at www.salesbabble.com. And if you have any questions about this episode or past episodes, click the Babble Me button, and that will send a message directly to me. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Or maybe you have some question about B2B sales. Reach out. I'd love to chat. Lastly, if you could do me one favor and share this episode with just one person, one friend who's looking to grow their selling skills, that would be awesome. Word of mouth is the best way to grow a podcast. With that said, that's all I've got for this week. Until next Tuesday, take care and have a highly successful and a profitable selling day.
Thank you for listening to the Sales Babble podcast. Find us at www.salesbabble.com.
This is a production of Habanero Media.